The government has nothing to hide in this matter. We do not have a double agenda, and it is untrue that we have a strategy to disrupt our opponents.
President de Klerk's attempt to defuse the scandal rocking South Africa since July the 19th was put into perspective by scenes like these. In the past 5 years, 10,000 lives have been lost during intercommunal violence in South Africa. And South African security forces played a part in it, giving weapons and money to the Zulu Inkatha movement, held responsible for fierce attacks on supporters of the African National Congress. The disclosures threw new light on government actions and intentions. Last year, Adriaan Vlok, then Minister of Law and Order, announced yet another security clampdown. In lay terms, a state of emergency highly unpopular with the ANC.
This is why we are taking these steps to declaring unrest areas now, as well as the other steps that we are taking as far as dangerous weapons are concerned. We have come to the conclusion that we cannot carry on like this. We want to stop the killing of innocent people. We cannot allow this to carry on.
A state of emergency? Not so, said Mr. de Klerk.
There isn't a partial state of emergency.
The killing didn't stop. At rallies, police were seen to side with Chief Buthelezi's Inkatha against ANC supporters. Buthelezi denied everything, but he later changed his stance.
I swear before the Lord God that I don't know, I'm not aware that the police ever deposited any money in that account.
The ANC and the government are on a collision course. There can be no question of us being involved in any peace process once we are convinced that the government is following this double strategy.
The ANC leader was angered by new allegations that special forces were responsible for recent attacks on black commuter trains. Further revelations were to confirm the funding of Inkatha as part of a secret government campaign to combat international sanctions. The government's credibility was shaken. The army's role in township violence was being questioned worldwide. At a cabinet meeting on July the 24th, at least 2 of those present knew their political future was in jeopardy. They were Adriaan Vlok, seen here, and the Defence Minister, General Magnus Malan.
Mr. Vlok and General Malan at least should resign immediately.
If I am an obstacle on the road to negotiations and the future of this country, then I will reconsider my position.
Unlike Mr. Vlok, General Malan did not offer to resign. He'd always advocated tough action against the ANC until a banning order against it was lifted last year. The Foreign Minister, Pick Botha, was also implicated. Moving from a defensive to a defiant position, he tried to protect the President and himself.
President de Klerk was not aware, but the system did not require him to be aware.
Boldly, he confirmed Pretoria's past efforts to undermine the nationalist organisation SWAPO in its fight for an independent Namibia.
We didn't like SWAPO. We were against SWAPO, my friend. Let me make it very clear to you today here. We were at war at times with SWAPO, or they with us.
Pretoria's campaign was said to have contributed to the outcome of Namibian elections in which SWAPO leader Sam Nujoma, against much higher expectations, only got 55% of the votes. De Klerk's government also admitted cooperating with Inkatha to set up the United Workers' Union of South Africa, UWUSA. But it said the money was given to counter violence, not to encourage it. At this rally, complete with a Winnie Mandela lookalike, the UWUSA slogan was Bury COSATU, the larger pro-ANC trade union. In March 1990, the government admitted sending troops into Ciskei homeland during a coup against its president Leonard Sebe. But Foreign Minister Botha said the troops had intervened to suppress riots and quell further unrest in the homeland at the request of the coup leader. At the time, the government's account was widely accepted in South Africa and abroad. But a year on, Pick Botha needed to dispel suspicions as to his motives. He couldn't deny the outcome of government policies once he admitted that state funds had gone to organisations opposed to black freedom movements such as SWAPO.
I admit and say that we did it. I said for what purpose we did it, because I was part of the cabinet discussion which approved this. But I didn't quite expect this question here today, and cannot give you round figures, but the sum was considerable.
Did he plan to resign?
Not for this reason. There might be others.
Chief Buthelezi's position wasn't enviable either. Asked to apologise to the ANC, he declined, and following Botha's style, counterattacked instead.
I don't think that if we start doing that, we'll get anywhere, because as of now, I mean, the ANC has got, the military wing. They have repeated, even during their conference, that they're not demobilizing them. I mean, they've stashed arms all over the country. I mean, they've been getting arms from Russia and other Eastern Bloc of countries, from East Germany, etc., and no one asks them how they use that money.
At the end of July, cabinet changes were announced and hailed as shocks by the media. The Law and Order Minister, Adriaan Vlok, was losing his post. However, although no longer in the cabinet, he was nominated as head of correctional services. He was demoted without being completely removed. General Malan lost his post too. Again, he was being demoted to water and forestry affairs. The defence portfolio went to a roll-off mayor. And Hannes Kriel took over responsibility for the police as Law and Order Minister. Both were seen as moderates. Anti-apartheid groups were far from satisfied. Students in Johannesburg and the ANC were disappointed. They showed it and said so.
The response of de Klerk by demoting these ministers is inadequate, considering the dimensions of the crimes in question. We would expect a much more comprehensive response on the part of President de Klerk.
The ANC said it wanted an interim government. Mr. de Klerk has given no indication he was prepared to compromise.
Stop the perpetual positioning and abandon the politics of confrontation and ultimatums. Let us begin with real negotiations. That is what South Africa asks of us. The government is ready and able and willing to start tomorrow. I thank you.